Good afternoon and welcome to Active Citizens. It is as a day hot, as it always day hot. And my name is Sharon NNPC-Backed. Today I am joined by an esteemed guest in person of Mr. Kachi Njoku. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Sharon. How are you doing?
I'm very well.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, to be honest. We hope that you would appear more often.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, so we're going straight to the stories we have for today. The first on our list is a very sad one. It is the candlelight procession that was held in honor of the late fish magnate in Awka, Anambra State. We had the attendance of a very dark man who was the person that led the said procession. And it happened in Aroma. They took a walk from Aroma, and it had a lot of people in attendance. And not just that, before then, VDM also appealed to security personnel to please accompany them on that walk for security purposes. And at the end of the day, the government of Anambra State also paid tribute during that particular walk. Let's take a look at the video. All right, Mr. Kachi.
They said kidnappers killed fish magnets. But in actual sense, it is the government that killed fish magnets. Yes. In actual sense, it is Charles Soludo that killed fish magnets. Yeah. In actual sense, it is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that killed fish magnets. In actual sense, it is the local government chairman that killed fish magnets. In actual sense, it is the IG of police that killed fish magnets. In actual sense, it is the chief of defense staff and the chief of army staff that killed fish magnets. Yes. Because we pay our tax. We pay our tax. 32,000. Anambra State. Nigeria is a very rich country. We have the money to have more policemen with more ammunition, more guns that can protect everybody.
No, this is a very sad video, to be honest. The first time I saw this video, I could feel the anger, even from the crowd, and I wouldn't agree less with the statements, some of the statements that VDM made. This is a huge security issue that Anambra, Awka, all parts of Anambra have been facing for a while now. Even, within school areas, the UNIZIC school areas, gunshots every other day during exams, just walking out and you're seeing that people are running helter-skelter. So, Mr. Kachi, what is your reaction towards this trending issue?
It's a very sad thing for the late fish magnates, because when I heard about the story, I was very pained, because this is something that has been happening on and on in Anambra as a whole.
Yeah.
Because if you look closely into the issue, you will notice that the insecurity in Anambra, in the east as a whole, is already getting too much, because you have a lot of security agencies, but nobody is being secured. They are just humiliating young boys, They are not securing anybody. For instance, if there is a case of, let's say, robbery or kidnapping, for instance, you won't see these people on the road. But when you have a case of kidnapping, that is when they will leave the road. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But on a normal day, they are going to be on the road terrorizing people, collecting money from people and doing all sorts of things. But when they are needed, they are not seen. And every day they are creating new group. Today you hear the Agony Chamber, tomorrow you hear different groups are on the road. But when they are needed, they are not being, seen.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very...
It's really sad.
Really painful. That's all I would say.
You know that when I came into Awka and I saw the different groups, my initial reaction was, oh, this is interesting. Something is actually being done about the security issue in Anambra State, until I started noticing that they were just only available during the afternoons. And in the night, when we know it's the peak of criminal activities, they would vanish. And during that afternoon, they would stop you at Aroma Junction, ask for 200 naira, stop you at Ifite Junction, ask for 400 naira or whatever. And I'm asking, when did all of these security agencies start? And they said, oh, it's just recently because of the insecurities. That's like people that are on the road, but they have turned it to something else. And another question that I wanted to ask is, you are sending security personnel to guard your people without giving them arms, because I would see some of them and they are not holding any arms. They are just there. How are they expected to protect citizens?
Exactly. Like, what is the protection they are giving? Like, what exactly
what are they going to use to protect people?
Do you understand?
I don't. I really feel like even as much as the government of Anambra State has good intentions for setting up those agencies, security agency he has set up, it is really sad what we're experiencing. From what I hear, the situation of the late fish magnate was that of kidnap. So people have so many theories. They say his mother is the woman leader in APGA. And I spoke to someone from APGA yesterday, and he made mention of that particular woman's position, and we had a discussion, and he said that the position that that woman holds is not even a really big position. It's not even a big position for someone to be envious of the woman to the extent of trying to attack her child. And then we all concluded that maybe this might be a personal vendetta, because if you see Fish Magnet, he is doing very well for himself with his goal that every household must have fish, right? And he reduced drastically the price of fish so that people can be able to afford it. And he's doing well on social media, on TikTok to be precise, and he's getting a lot of attention. My question is, how can a what was the offense of a promising young man?
I would just say Nigeria happened to him. That's all I would say, because you cannot say it's because of his mother.
No.
That, you know, they kidnapped him and Nigeria happened to him. Because if you look deeply into it, he was just a promising young man that had a very bright future. That's all I would say, because there was really nothing attached to them. They were not living a luxurious life. They were just there, do you get, struggling, trying to make him money, and you know. But now, if you look closely to it, you see that it's just Nigeria that happened to them.
And that's
because
sad.
the kidnappers might not even know who he was. Do you get? They might just think that, okay, he's a good-looking guy, and he
looks like he has money,
and then they will take him, and you know. But because if you look at it, Nigeria just happened to him. That's basically what I would say.
And that is sad. We cannot wait until Nigeria happens to us too, please. But we are going to move on to the next story. This one is even more disturbing. The Tinubu administration has made a bold move again, seeking a staggering 3 trillion naira to complete road projects funded by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. Now, let us dive into this detail right now. So, currently, Nigeria is owing about 99 trillion naira currently. Or I don't know if it's over or exactly 99 trillion. And we went on to discuss about the Kuwait loan. We talked about it, I and Ifoma Oji, about the Kuwait loan, the $25.3 million that the Zamfara state government wanted to invest in out-of-school children that the federal government approved of, okay? So add this to that number. They are seeking an extra 3 trillion naira to complete road projects. Now, this road projects, let me just list, because that was my first question. I was just like, what are the roads that these people want to invest in? So, we have the Benin Warri, the Benin Asaba Road to the First Niger Bridge, the Lagos Otabe-Okuta Road, the Bayelsa, and many more. Notwithstanding the fact that the Lagos Calabar Road is in shambles as we speak. Another road that they constructed so that they can link Lagos to Calabar, right? And now it's in shambles because whoever the engineer was didn't deem it fit to add a drainage system to that place. And they are thinking of using 3 trillion naira, Mr. Kati. Jesus, I just feel like at this point, the amount of money that these people are borrowing, I don't know who is going to pay, because it's definitely not me. I don't know about you, sir.
Our children.
Not mine. Definitely not my
because
children.
Because if you look at it, it's a lot of amount. It's a lot. Every day we wake up, we hear about a new amount that is being borrowed.
It was billions first.
You get the amount they are using to maintain things, the amount different news news every day. We wake up different news. It's really disheartening.
But to be honest, Mr. Kachi, do you really think that this amount of money do you genuinely believe that this amount of money would be used to invest in the road construction like they said? Because if you look at the list of roads, there are quite plenty. It seems as if it's the entire Nigeria. But but do you think that they will be able to do this? And how would this impact Nigeria's transportation network?
Like they said in the news, if they would actually use the money for the good roads and like they have said or they have promised, then I really don't think there should be a problem with that if they do as they have promised. Because if you look at it, there are a lot of bad roads in Nigeria as it stands now. So if they are promising what they see, then I don't think there's a problem with that.
You don't think 3 trillion is a bit of a stretch?
If you look at it, if we are about to analyze this thing now, we don't really know the cost of, production and the likes. You don't know how much they used to get their materials for the road and everything. But if you look at it, see, we as Nigerians, how you won't take use 3 trillion? This thing has already passed English. To be very honest. How many roads? Was it up to 50 roads?
I don't think so.
Because if you look, the road they did in, I think, Calabar.
Lagos Calabar.
They said it has drainage issues.
Yeah, it does.
So what are we now saying?
They left the one that they are supposed to fix, and they want to, create new ones. And it's really ironic. But my question will, anytime I see a situation of Billy or a trillion now, we are moving to a new level. Nigeria, we are moving to a new level. Anytime I see this huge amount of money, my question will always be, how can we ensure accountability and transparency? Exactly. How can we tell? Because it's not to say we are going to do this and do that. How can we really tell that this money would be used? Because one of the problems that Nigerians have is the road, the bad road. How can we tell that even if it is 3 trillion naira, maybe I'm not an engineer, maybe the engineers in the comment section can help us out, would it cost that much to construct the list of roads that they have? And if it will, no problem. But my question is, how can we be sure that it would be used for roads?
See, they have not brought any system that can answer this question up to tomorrow, because they will say today they borrowed this, tomorrow they borrowed that. There's nobody that is coming to meet us to tell us that, okay, this is what they use the money to do, this is what they use the money to do, this is what they... Nobody. So if we continue like this with no system of accountability, then I think there will be a problem. If we are to create, like you asked, what is the measure that we can use to know that this money is being accounted for? If we are to create, will I call it a measure, or will I call it a means by which we can show that this is what this money is used for? I think it would be very useful. It will be very helpful.
It will. Because
you cannot just come outside and say you're using 3 trillion to do a particular project without a step down of what is being used. I don't know if you understand.
I understand.
So that would be very useful if they can,
that's if they can.
Transparency.
Yes.
Do you understand? If they can be transparent about what they are doing.
Do you know that, sorry to cut you short, do you know that there's something that I've noticed with our politicians or with Nigerian government? They only carry us along in the beginning. They will tell you, oh, we are using 2 trillion to invest in education. Bagam. We're using 3 trillion to help out of school children. We're using this to invest in healthcare. And that's it. We don't hear anything again. There is no follow-up news. There's no follow-up press release. There's no follow-up story to tell us, okay, the money that we said we're going to use, this was how we used it. This was how it was dispersed. So that you people are more up to date. Because I'll keep saying it. This is our money. You do not take, okay, I just realized it's not really our money again, because they are taking loans. So this is money that they are borrowing, all right? But it's still Nigerian. It's still a Nigerian problem, and I feel like we deserve every level of accountability whatsoever. Which brings me to my next question. From the projects that have happened so far, even before now, would you say that from those projects that you are aware of, Nigerian government or the people that made that promise has actually lived up to their promises? Do you think that they've said, oh, we are going to construct this from your own knowledge? What do you think about the prior projects?
To me, like you asked, I really don't think they have done anything much, because it's just like every day we wake up, they will just say, okay, we want to get money. What can we use to cover up the tracks? So they will say, okay, we would say we want to create roads. I don't know if you understand
I
my
understand.
point. So it's more like they are just using those headlines to, bypass the money. Because if you look at it, they say they are creating roads. If you still go round today, there are a lot of bad roads. I'm not even talking Anambra or Lagos. I'm talking Nigeria as a whole. There are a lot of bad roads. So if you say, are they really doing what they say they are doing? To me, I would say they are not doing anything, because there is no how you say 3 trillion, for instance. There's no how you say 3 trillion for a particular road, and then we are not seeing anything. Do you get? We are not seeing any evidence that, okay, this is how this money is being used. This is how. So I believe it's just a way to, bypass money. They are really not doing anything. Do you get?
But I don't know about you, but I would prefer a sort of solution. I feel like when next the government wants to borrow money, or when they want to seek for loans, right, they should there should be a policy. That's why I think I'm even agreeing with the entire the constitution change, right? I believe that when they want to borrow this money, that they should put it somewhere in our constitution, that for every money that you are using, that if you do not do as you have said you would do, there should just be a consequence to that. I don't know if you think so too.
Yes. That's a very brilliant idea, because we need accountability. We need them to explain to us why certain things are happening. You cannot just wake up one day and come out and tell us that so and so is used for no reason. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
So that's a very brilliant idea. It would be really appreciated if the government can hear our cry.
I really think so. All right, it seems as though we are also going to be joined by our analyst, but in any case, let's just continue our conversation.
Sure.
We are going to move to the next story, and the next story is really sad. It's the situation of Sowore and the police investigations that are going on currently. So the police investigators accused of manhandling Sowore during interrogation at their force headquarters. So initially, Sowore was asked to appear before the, before the police. They said that they had some questions for him and allegations of forgery and inciting disturbance. And this police invitation, it was followed by Sowore's involvement in a protest by retired officers and his accusation that a police cameraman stole his Ray-Ban Meta AI smart glasses. This was one of the reasons why they called him for questioning. And in good faith, initially, he asked or he requested for legal procedures to be carried out, and it wasn't done. So he didn't honor their request until the second letter was sent, and he did. He went there with his lawyers, but he didn't go alone. So he asked Nigerians, well-meaning Nigerians, to accompany him to the headquarters, which they did. They accompanied him there only for him to sit down, and they were having discussions and they wanted to conduct a physical search. The man is asking, you want to conduct a physical search? No problem. Where is your warrant? And they couldn't produce anyone, and it became something else. And there are videos that I want us to take a look at, because from what I've seen online, Sowore was brutally injured, and I just think this is the height of police brutality. These are the pictures showing Sowore's state after he was in the police custody, just for question. It's not as though he was arrested or anything. He was just being questioned. But let's take a look at the video. Before then, let's take a look at the comment section on X. So Festus Ogun says, how did the police obtain a detention order against Sowore prior to his arrest? All officers involved, including the magistrate that granted the suspicious order, should be thoroughly disciplined. Sadly, this is Nigeria. Wow. Now, this is a personal statement by Omoyele Sowore on his X account. This morning at 6 a.m., A police team led by a chief superintendent of police from the IGP monitoring unit forcibly gained entry into Omoyele Sowere's cell at the Force Intelligence Department in Abuja, claiming they were taking him to court. The team of 9 officers, including 8 heavily armed personnel, handled Sowore roughly when he asked to see the charges and notify his lawyers, breaking his arm in the process, before taking him to another police facility. Now, this is a direct statement by Sowore on the account that led to his injury. Let's take another comment. So this person says, how dare Sowore expose Tinubu and the illegal IGP? How dare Sowore fight against oppression? For doing this, they kidnapped him, placed him in solitary confinement for 5 months, placed him on city arrest, shot him, broke his nose. Now they have broken his wrist. Oh, this is really sad. You know, this and many more are some of the reactions of people on the X account, and it is really saddening to see that this is what we have resulted to. The fact that you know, police officers can override certain procedures in order to get a person or to arrest an individual who is a full-blooded citizen of Nigeria. And I think that is sad. But I want to know, what was your reaction, especially when you saw the state of Sowore in the cell?
I was really pained because it was a peaceful protest. It was not something that, you know, involved any form of harm. It was something he did peacefully. So when they say police is your friend at times, I think they go against that word because they are, if you check it, why would you break the nose of somebody that did no harm? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. He did nothing but just a very peaceful protest. Do you get? So if you check it deeply, 8 armed policemen by 6 a.m. Why would you? That is already a very big traumatic experience if you look at it, because this is somebody that is in police custody. I don't know if you understand. He's in police. He's supposed to be safe, but now all this happened in a police.
In the police cell.
Do you understand? So if you look at it, like I said before, Nigeria should not happen to anyone. At all. Because he did not do anything wrong. If you check the videos and everything that was posted online, it was a very peaceful protest. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Nothing extravagant.
Nothing extra. And then there was also another video that I saw trending that we'll take a look at. But this was about a protester who, you know, is on the side of Sowore, saying that this was as a result of a particular police officer, that he feels like this is a personal vendetta by that said police officer against Sowore because of the claims that Sowore has made against the police officer. But I'm saying, does this police officer wield the power to do such a thing illegally? Is it possible? Like, of course, some things are possible in Nigeria, but what do you think?
Like you said, in Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
Because if you check the law, the police is supposed to be for us. Do you understand?
To protect us. That's their mandate.
So if you check what is happening now, you see it is totally a different scenario.
Yeah.
They are totally doing things that are different because they are not protecting us at all. Because I don't know how you have a personal issue with a peaceful protester and then you go behind bars and, you know, do whatever you have done. I don't know if you understand me. Because he didn't do anything harmful. If he has an issue with Sowore, he can handle that personally. You know, personally.
Not using his office.
Not using his office. Exactly what I was about to say. Not using his office to, you know, go against him. So like I said, in Nigeria, like you said, it's a problem. You
know that there's a long talk of police brutality. I mean, with the NSAS situation that happened in 2020 and now this. And, you know, one would think that the police in Nigeria are, you know, are trying to change, or they are taking notes to reform and be better and protect the said people that they were asked to protect. And you know that the funny thing is that it is this same police officers that will come and still protest that their gratuities are not yet paid. No, that their gratuities are paid, but it is insufficient, right? And the same people that you're supposed to be standing with are the people you are now fighting against. For what? You are forgetting that you are first Nigerian before any position, politically or whatever. You are first a Nigerian. And I feel like police officers in Nigeria especially need to get that into their brain. Because the other day, when Ifeoma was in the studio and we were talking about Kemi Badnoch, she also brought up the topic that Kemi Badnoch said that when she was asked about the UK police, and she said, oh, the UK police is good, they're doing their job well, but not the Nigerian police. And of course, some people had some reservations about that statement. Ifeoma also had her reservations. But when you see things like this, what do you expect? When you see police brutality on a daily, not just from police, let's even talk about people that stand on the road safety. Their own brutality is another different thing. Anybody that is just wearing uniform, if they sew clothes and give you and you're wearing uniform, you feel like you have the right to abuse people, which is completely illegal. But I also wanted to ask, let us also touch on the topic of brutality. Is there a way we think we can curb this before it turns into something else? In a situation whereby you offend a police officer, for instance, your brother is a police officer and I do something to offend you, and even though it's just a personal issue, you go ahead to involve your brother because your brother is a police officer. What do you think are the reforms that the police need to introduce?
First of all, there are a lot of uneducated people in the police force. There are a lot of it, so they don't know the normal procedures. Do you get? They just go through. There are a lot of uneducated people in the police force. There are a lot of it, so they don't know the normal procedures. Do you get? They just go through training, which some don't even go through. Just get the uniform and then they're on the streets. You know, because if you know the proper procedures, there are certain things you will not do. If you understand, not using your office to go against somebody, because I'm a soldier and the normal civilian offends me, I will now use my office to get at the person. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So using office, you know, to go against somebody is totally wrong to me. If you want to use the office, or you can use normal procedure. If you're wrong, no problem. If the person is right, still no problem. Do you understand? We're using normal procedures. Because if you see, there are a lot of policemen that don't even know how to speak normal English. Like, they go to tear pigeon for you. I don't know if you understand.
I do.
They don't know how to speak normal English. And how would I explain my problem to that kind of person?
You have to come down to their level.
Do you get? So I think a lot of educated people in the police first of all, then, you know, following proper procedures.
Trainings, right?
Do you understand?
Yeah. I think that you're so right on that. And I was also having this discussion with a friend of mine, and we were talking about the educational qualifications of these people that are serving in the force. Of course, we appreciate the fact that you put your life on the line to serve Nigeria and Nigerians. It is not a problem, but I still believe that school is not a scam. Whether you are serving in the force, it should be a part of the criteria for getting into the force, that you should have some level of exposure, you should have some level of educational qualifications before you are accepted into the force. Because at the end of the day, illiteracy is illiteracy. It's not good for any side. It's not good for us as Nigerians. It's not good for the police officers themselves, because they are constantly being misunderstood. And I don't think this is a good front for Nigerian police officers to have. I think this is where we're going to call it a wrap. Do you have any final words on the matter, Mr. Kachi?
Like we have discussed about it, I would like us to even watch that video one more time.
Okay, all right.
To see what they really talked about.
It will be fine. Let us just take a look at the video. Let's see what the protesters were complaining about.
They are planning by all means to see how they can detain or arrest Omoyele Sowore. But the message is clear that we are not afraid. Even Omoyele Sowore himself is not even afraid. He has prepared already. He came here with his bag.
Detention bag.
His detention bag with clothes, enough clothes for him to be changing. Paraventure if they arrest him and detain him. But the truth remains that we that are outside, even though they also come after us, we are not just in this number. That's why I said that this is just like a rehearsal. Now, the oppressed Nigerian people should not think that this is a fight of Omoyele Sowore or this is a fight of our movement. This is a fight for survival in Nigeria. Can you imagine illegal Inspector General of Police, Ogbetoku? Can you imagine his mistress was allegedly be promoted onto a rank that she's supposed not to get so within the year, within 10 years? And because of Omoyele is supposing all of these unjust practices of Ogbetoku, is now grieved, sending his boys to go after Omoyele Sowore, thinking that by so doing, they can silence him. Of course, Ogbetoku is supposed to have by now read history about our struggle, read history about Omoyele Sowore. Our resistance has no limits, and we are not afraid of whoever that is involved. Yes. The truth remains that if you arrest one of us, yes, or you oppress one of us, or even any Nigeria, in as much you come to our hearing, we will come out for whosoever that is involved. Yes. And that is what they need to understand. What Ogbetoku have decided to do today is to try to plan of how he will shut down the economy of this country. EndSARS will be a child play because they did it before, and they use all their cunning craftiness to make sure that they seized the passport of Omoyele Sowore so that he cannot travel. Till today, they keep postponing the sitting of that case. They make sure that the Omoyele Sowore didn't travel, and they want to hold him again. But if that is what they wish, let it go ahead. But the truth.
All right, we just saw that video from a very passionate Nigerian talking about the arrest of Sowore, and it is really sad that this is still happening in 2025. But we will have to call it a wrap on the show today. But we'll be also coming on show in the evening to continue from where we've stopped. Nigeria cannot afford to happen to all of us. We can't afford for a Nigerian to happen to all of us. But in the meanwhile, follow us on all our social media platforms at Active Citizens. And you can also follow me on my personal social media handle at Sharon NM and you, Mr. Kachi? At
Unjokunye Kachi on social media.
All right. Thank you so much, our viewers, for joining us. Till we see you in the evening, do have a good afternoon.